The battery backup feature they are selling on every power station has a dirty little secret. For the device you're actually worried about, it usually does nothing at all. And for the one device that genuinely needs it, a lot of these units aren't fast enough. Either way, the word on the box, UPS, is doing a lot of quiet lying. Let me show you exactly where. Here's the pitch you've seen. Plug it in, flip on UPS mode, and if the grid dies, your devices never even blink. Sounds like magic insurance, and there's a real feature underneath it, but the marketing smears it into meaning way more than it does, and the whole thing hinges on one number nobody explains: switch over time. Here's what that number actually is. When you run a power station, in backup mode, it sits between the wall and your devices, passing grid power straight through. The instant the grid drops, it has to flip to its own battery. Switch over time is how long that flip takes, measured in milliseconds, thousandths of a second. That tiny gap is the entire game, and it's where the marketing gets slippery. Most power stations, your typical EcoFlow Delta, most of the field, switch over in about 20 to 30 milliseconds. And for most things, that's genuinely fine. Here's why. And this is the part they don't bother explaining. Almost every modern electronic device has a little built-in energy reserve in its power supply, enough to coast through a 20 or 30 millisecond blink without noticing. Your router, your TV, your laptop charger, a phone, they ride right over it. So for the average person keeping electronics alive, that switchover speed does the job. But now watch the sleight of hand, because there are two devices where this falls apart in opposite directions. The first is the one they love to show in the ads, the fridge. Here's the reveal. Your fridge does not care about switchover time at all. A fridge is a dumb motor. If the power blinks for 30 milliseconds or 30 seconds, it just starts back up. There's nothing to crash, nothing to reboot, no data to lose. So all that seamless UPS protection for your refrigerator, marketing. It's protecting the fridge from a problem the fridge never had. A basic power station with no fancy switchover spec at all keeps your fridge running through an outage exactly as well. You are being sold a premium feature for an appliance that couldn't use it if it tried. Now the opposite failure, and this one actually matters. The devices that genuinely need fast switchover are the sensitive ones. Some desktop computers, a home server storing your files, and critically, certain medical equipment. For these, even a 20 or 30 millisecond gap can be enough to trigger a reboot, corrupt a file, or interrupt the device you're relying on. And these are exactly the buyers who most need the truth, and instead, they get the same fake UPS mode checkmark as everyone else, with no idea it might not be fast enough. To safely cover the truly sensitive stuff, you want a unit rated at 10 milliseconds or faster, and only a handful hit that. EcoFlow's Delta Pro 3 is one, and their newer Delta 3 1000 Air quietly brought the 10 millisecond speed down to a much cheaper unit. Most of the lineup does not. So the honest breakdown is this: if you're backing up a fridge, lights, a router, phones, ordinary electronics, the switchover spec is close to irrelevant, and you should not pay a cent extra for a faster one. Buy on capacity and output. Ignore the UPS marketing entirely, and you're covered. If you're backing up a desktop you don't want crashing, a home server, or anything where a half-second hiccup means lost work, now the number matters, and you specifically want 10 milliseconds or under. Don't just trust the words UPS mode on the box. Find the actual switchover time in the spec sheet. If they bury it or won't state it plainly, that silence is your answer. And if you're backing up medical equipment, ACP AP is usually fine through a brief gap, but anything genuinely life critical, do not rely on a power station's marketing at all. Check the exact switchover rating against what your specific device tolerates, and when in doubt, use equipment actually certified for that job. This is the one place close enough isn't good enough, and no ad copy should make that decision for you. Here's the takeaway they'd rather you not have. UPS mode isn't one feature, It's a spec with an actual number attached, and that number only matters for a narrow slice of devices. For most of what you'll plug in, it's marketing theater. For the few things that truly need it, most units quietly don't deliver. Learn to read the one number, and you'll never overpay for the theater or get burned trusting it where it actually counts.